Is rebounding a fad or a foe? That's what we're going to talk about today. If this is your first time on my channel, I am Dr. Caitlin Zazowski. I am a certified functional medicine practitioner who has been in practice working with clients almost 15 years. And what I explain and what I go over is really the long form of all the questions that I get asked on my other social media channels like Instagram that has almost 1 million followers, Facebook almost 500,000 followers. And so I created this channel so I could go and do deeper dives for you all on how to support your drainage systems at home. And that way you know what is working and what isn't working, because drainage is my specialty. Why? Because I myself have my own drainage issues and I've had them since I was super little. So I made sure to become an expert so that my drainage issues didn't continue to get worse, and then I'd end up dealing with bigger and bigger problems, which we can talk about in other videos, and so that you don't have to suffer the way that I did for so many years. Okay, let's jump into this. Is rebounding a fad or a foe? What do you think? It's actually neither. It is legit. It's not a fad. It seems like it's a fad right now because everybody is talking about rebounders. And maybe it's because I see it more now because I'm talking more about it. And I find that when I start talking more and more about things, I start seeing other people talking more about it, which is fantastic. So it's definitely not a fad. There are a lot of really amazing benefits, and that's what it makes it not a foe. So that was kind of a trick question when I asked you in the beginning. But with that being said, what does rebounding do? So I'm going to talk about a few of the things that scientifically have been shown to happen or improve with the use of a rebounder. Now, before I do that, let's talk real quickly about what a rebounder is. So a rebounder is ultimately a mini trampoline, and it can have a handlebar to hold on to help with balance. This is great for little kids or people that have balance issues, but ultimately it's just a smaller trampoline. So everything I talk about, can you ultimately do on a trampoline? Yes, absolutely. You can do it on a trampoline, but normally trampolines are outside. And if you live in an area where the weather can be sometimes inclement, like, in Canada when we have winter, you might want to get a mini trampoline or a mini rebounder for inside so that you can continue this practice. Because I bet you, after I go through all of these amazing benefits that can be backed by research, you're going to want to implement this. So the first thing is rebounding can actually help improve bone density. NASA actually figured this out because what they found was their astronauts, when they come back from space, not having gravity, they lose a lot of bone mass. And one of the things that can help rebuild that bone mass is rebounding, is that jumping. So, obviously not medical advice here. You always got to talk to your professional to see whether this is right for you. But rebounding can be very beneficial for those that are especially experiencing things like osteopenia. So the beginning stages of osteoporosis. This can help increase bone density and bone mass along with strength training and the other things that are needed as well. The other thing that I like about rebounding is it helps strengthen the cardiovascular system. And our cardiovascular system, right, is really important because that's what pumps blood everywhere. So when we strengthen our cardiovascular system, we're also improving our circulation. So a lot of people report that when they are rebounding and increasing their cardiovascular output, and we'll talk more about what that looks like, their hands and feet are also not as cold as it used to be. And that's going to be tied into a little bit of lymphatic drainage as well. Now, not everybody, because remember, cold hands and feet can be due to a lot of things, but I'm just sharing some of the stuff that my clients have expressed to me over those 15 years. So with cardiovascular strength increasing, why that's important is because it's also increasing your lung capacity. So ultimately what that means is it's allowing your lungs to expand and take in more oxygen. That's really important because oxygen is what oxygenates our blood. So if we're not breathing properly, if we're not deep breathing, we're taking these short, shallow breaths, which, by the way, we shouldn't be doing that. We should be doing diaphragmatic breathing. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch this video. Diaphragmatic breathing is so important for overall health and wellness. And this is something that I truly believe more people, if we sat down and like consciously focused on our breathing, we would have better overall health benefits. So increasing our lung capacity is also going to help increase the oxygen in the blood, which if we're increasing circulation, it's like a win-win-win. Now, some of the things that is super cool is there was a study done, a while back, like I think it was like 2016, where they found that rebounding is actually 2 times as effective as, say, like other aerobic activities, whether it's running or speed walking or even swimming, when it comes to things like weight loss, so burning fat, and even increasing your oxygen consumption. Really important. So those are just a couple of the like side benefits that as to why I love rebounding. I think it's fantastic. But why I'm talking about it on a drainage channel is because rebounding helps with lymphatic drainage. Now you might be asking yourself, like, what do you mean? How does rebounding help lymphatic drainage? Well, our lymphatic system does not have a pump. It does not. The only way our lymph drains is if we manually drain it, like through pumping or manually massaging or using a dry brush or gua sha or rebounding. Because what happens is when we're rebounding, we're ultimately doing a couple things. We're increasing our heart rate, which when we increase our heart rate, our lymph and our other vessels like arteries, blood, like veins and nerves, they all run in bundles. They all run like side by side. And so if we're increasing our heart rate, that artery pulsing is going to also help move the lymphatic fluid. That's not just with rebounding, that can be with any activity. That's why movement is so important for lymphatic drainage. But what rebounding is specifically going to do is when we come up, we're ultimately helping defy gravity, right? Like that bouncing. Well, why this is important is because our lymphatic system has one-way valves, and those one-way valves are there to prevent backup. That's important because otherwise gravity would pull all of our lymphatic fluid and we would all have cankles and swollen toes all the time. Not good. So those valves are there to prevent that from happening. So what happens is if we picture this is the valve and the fluid is supposed to come up this way, what happens is when we rebound, the valve opens and then closes, and then opens and then closes. So fluid is coming up and the valve opens and then it closes, which will prevent the fluid from draining back down. I particularly love rebounding because it really does help with lymphatic drainage, and it's an inexpensive tool in the grand scheme of things compared to some of the other more pricier options out there, like a vibration plate. And if you guys want, I can definitely do a video talking about vibration plates as well. I love vibration plates. It's not to talk bad about them, but rebounding or rebounder is typically less expensive. It's a little bit more cost effective for most people. And I love it because you can also get a cardio workout in when you do it. So rebounding absolutely is something that's going to stay in practice with me just to keep my lymphatic fluid draining. And I'm going to encourage you to do the same. Let me know if rebounding is something that you're going to incorporate below. And one more thing, because I know you guys are all going to ask, well, how long? How long do I have to do it? Start with at least 10 minutes if you can do it, right? And then you can work your way up. If you're looking for more of a cardiovascular output, you're going to have to do more like 20, 30, 60 minutes kind of thing. But starting at 10 minutes is going to be super effective. And one last thing, you always want to clear your lymph nodes before getting on the rebounder to make sure that your lymph nodes are open so that all of that lymphatic fluid that you're having come up and drain at your termini has the capability of doing that. That's how you're going to maximize your rebounding benefits when it comes to lymphatic drainage. I hope this was helpful. And if you want more information like this, be sure to follow and let me know if there's topics specifically that you would like me to cover. But rebounding, a total yay coming from this drainage specialist. Thanks for being here and happy draining.